Hey y'all, welcome back to Harmon Homestead. We are in the pasture garden today and we're at the corn. This is our peaches and cream sweet corn. This corn, the majority of it is about 1 foot tall. That's when we're going to side dress the corn. You want it about 1 foot tall. So I did a video last week on how to thin corn. You want this corn thinned out before you side dress it. You want this corn thin so it doesn't have to compete with all these other little stalks for nutrients, because we are going to put the nutrients to it. When I planted this, we planted it with triple 13 fertilizer. Now 1 foot tall, or the V6 stage, look that up. That's your leaf stage on this plant. You want to start side dressing it, or as common folks say, laying it by. So you can tell here, this morning my husband came out here, he tilled up in this pasture beside the corn. Now mind you, you could do this with a tractor, but we're doing this by hand, okay? He tilled in between the rows, and then I dug trenches. So this trench is about 8 inches deep. You want it pretty deep, okay? All these trenches is where we're gonna put our fertilizer. So the trench needs to be, I would say, about 6 inches from the corn stalk. You want it pretty close, but again, deep. What we're going to use is ammonium nitrate. You want high nitrogen to this corn at this stage, and it'll jump. It'll start growing. Do not wait too long. Past, I think it's V14 stage, your corn will not uptake much. So you want to go on and do it while it's 1 foot tall. This ammonium nitrate is 330000. Look for a high first number on a sack of fertilizer, okay? And it smells like ammonia. That's what it is. What it's going to do is boost this corn and give it the nitrogen that it needs. A lot of places do not have this fertilizer. They've banned it or not selling it. If you can't find it, if you have farm animals, use manure right beside it. But you must cover it up. A high ammonia manure like chicken manure, cow manure, horse manure, you can use it. Put it beside it. Last step, it must rain. If it doesn't rain on this, it's going to burn it up. When you're side dressing this, I use like a plastic cup and a bucket, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to drop it down in here, and I'm going to go heavy on it. Do not let it get down in the stalk right here. And it's open, it's circular, it's easy for a little kernel of this to go down in it. You don't want that, because this stuff will burn it up. It has to be beside the roots. That's why we dug this trench, okay? So I'm going to show you the fertilizer here, and we're going to lay it by. And it's supposed to rain this afternoon. Keep your fingers crossed. That's going to make our corn grow. Check it out. I have the ammonium nitrate here in this cup, and I'm going to drop it down this row, okay? Again, I'm going to do it pretty heavy, okay? I'll show you how heavy. I'm making sure not to get it in any area near that corn. We're going to do this down every row. So we have 1 row laid by, okay? We've got our ammonium nitrate down in that trench. It's thick, y'all. I'm telling you, it's thick down that row. This soil is poor. It'll make it grow if it rains on it, okay? But let me add a side note. When you dig this trench, you're essentially hilling up this corn. If you had time or wanted to, dig a trench on both sides. With this loose soil, it pushes towards the stalks, makes it nice, hilled up, so rain, wind won't knock it over, okay? Because these stalks, they're gonna get tall quick, so you want some extra support around the root system. If you've ever seen corn grow, the roots stick out like this above the soil. It's very wobbly, and a bad hurricane, thunderstorm can knock it over, okay? Especially when it's loaded down with heavy corn cobs, all right? Corn. So now we're gonna cover it up. You've seen me in videos plant stuff. I'll dig out a trench, do fertilizer, then I'll drop my seed and all that, and then at the end I'll walk it. We're not going to do that. We're just going to cover this up, make sure it's covered, and let it be. That's it. So take your hoe. Again, this is all if you're doing it by hand. If you've got a tractor, it's a totally different story, okay? And we're going to take this and just cover. on one side of your row. Just kind of pull it over that. You can see if it's in the camera or not. You just want the fertilizer covered. Just push it over it, cover it over it, and leave it be, okay? Now, I'm right-handed. If I wasn't videoing this, I'm gonna go down to the end and pull it back this way. It's just easier for me. But just to show you, just cover it up, okay? Just like that. You can push it over, drag it, as long as it's covered, okay? I'm trying not to touch where it's healed up against my corn because I want that to stay there. And this nice little trench all along through here, a lot of people will go back and re-side dress this corn. They'll apply it again in a couple of weeks. We're going to see how it does with this, see how the rain does, and see how it goes. We may actually side dress this again. I'm not sure, but I know we're doing it at least once. Do not think that you can grow corn without doing this, y'all. The first year I tried to be organic, I tried to be cheap, I didn't want to go get the fertilizer. Let me tell you, you have to have this to grow corn, grow good corn, okay? We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead.